Hey yo, what's up? Today we are going to have a little bit of a calm adventure. You know, past 3 episodes were focused on traveling deep inside of the hostile territory, so today I want some change of pace. I started the day off by looking at our Thrall progression. You know, I really thought about the retirement for Nog, as it is for sure well earned in case of that gorilla. We lost one already, so I want to keep this one safe. It is my precious Rilla after all. So, I don't know if you have noticed what happened, but I've seen that the tier 3 Taskmaster was ready for service, so I dragged him to take care of the Wheel of Pain, which triggered the, now 0.1, Thrall breaking speed multiplier. In the second Wheel of Pain, I have noticed that our Nordheimer fighter tier 3 was eagerly waiting for us, so I got her out of there as well. That makes 2 of them. So, Dalincia and Nordheimer were ready, and I thought I will use the same method on the other Wheel of Pain to see if speed multiplier has actually changed, or if it's just a glitch, you know. Turns out it worked, and I could also get the Berserker as well as Janus and others out of the tiresome Wheel of Pain. I guess by now they would rather serve us than spin that thing over and over. John the Tinkerer was also shown around his permanent workstation, but I couldn't stand the way he has chosen to work, so I had to redecorate here a little. Wait, that's better. So I ran back to the Wheel of Pain to grab Gasha of the Dark to come with us so she could also permanently occupy one of the empty workstations. Final destination for her? Thaumaturgy bench. Giving her a job at this bench allowed us to craft some sorcerer's spell pages we can of course use to upgrade our Tome of Kurak, but this will come in handy in the near future. As I was getting bored of my slave-forged armor set, I have decided to explore my options, and I have reminded myself of a Zamorian thief set, which I intended to craft. Which required quite a bit of silk, and that obviously can be made out of gossamer, but I have used most of my reserves on the layered silk. So I pulled out everything related to silk and gossamer I had in storage, however out of 73 pieces I needed, I only had 71. Talk about luck. Right, at this point I have made a decision to battle test our new friends, and while I was at the preparation stage, I have decided to honor our 2 most active community members by immortalizing their names. Well, to some degree, I guess you guys will clearly know who this avatar belongs to in our Conan series. Don't worry, there will be space for more, and I already have a few honorable mentions. The only problem for now is that I need to capture more thralls in order to do so. So, as this was my first journey with a thrall, I wanted to see how mighty they are, and I took them to the local camp just to kind of weight their strength against Nox, you know, our retired gorilla. It wasn't too bad, but frankly I have expected better results. Then, in all of my brilliance, I took the underpowered and underleveled thrall to the new Asagarth, the place I have already died in, even though I had a powerful Hanuman's gift with me. And as you can see, the results weren't great, so I had to step in and help. Soon after I took our new friend deeper into a lovely and friendly place of New Asagarth, and while we were trying to survive, I have noticed a bladesmith. I had to double check that I am seeing correctly, but it actually was a thrall that I needed, so I wanted to run away and call our fighter back, but she wasn't having any of it, and the bladesmith got wrecked by her hand. So I thought, right, if you are so vicious, show me what you can do against a slightly tougher group. Chop chop, go! As you might have predicted, I had to step down and help her, as I guess she knew these exiles don't matter as much as the bladesmith, so she chose to give as little effort as possible. Me going to New Asagarth actually had a goal behind it. You know, among all of the crap that Nordheimers drop, I knew I will be able to find traces of silk. Hence my goal was to use this knowledge and save myself some time by not going where spiders reside. This in turn allowed me to craft my desired, can't call it an armor, can I? My favorite clothes? And while we were dealing with armor, I decided to pass the heavy set I had on to our thrall. This thrall will have a great quest upon themselves, to bear a name of yet another supporter of this channel, right next to Moonraven and Sen. Knowing about the greater capacity of the Carrywater skin, I took it with me for our oncoming journey. I have also took our trusty steed Shelby, and off we were onto another perilous adventure. I really wanted to take on the world bosses to loot some more legendary stuff for our legendary thralls, however, I knew that Aryan is not ready for this. By the way, I will be assigning names at random. Please just don't get offended by gender of chosen thralls. You know the challenge list. I had to defeat the Imp King, but as I was in the vicinity, I took on Valis to compare his power level against our follower. Don't forget we didn't take tier 4 Thrall with us, so I would consider it to be a good result for underleveled fighter. And as for our reward, we got another Rilla. Okay, now time to fight the one we came here for. Yeah, the spears are kinda useless, I see, but Aryan still managed to do it. Cool. Claim reward. You remember what I said about the world bosses? Yeah, I still had to check and see for myself, but I can admit that it wasn't a good choice, and thankfully, I have managed to leave the area with a full party. Still, I didn't want to back down, so me and Aryan went to pay a visit to our creepy crawly friend, Giant Spider. I was so used to Knock, literally wiping the floor with anything coming close within its range, so it was technically a new experience to have a helper and get no help. I can definitely state right now that this is neither a good time nor a good equipment choice for our Thrall, as the damage output didn't even match the one of this giant creature. I gave Aryan a few more seconds before choosing to do a runner, as I didn't want to risk anyone's life pursuing goodies, even if they are legendary. Next, time for Ravaged Barrows and Moans of the Dead. I knew we can find some legendary heroes in here, so I came back. And as I was about to follow through with bleed stacks, I have noticed that this is a tier 4 Taskmaster, so I knew there is only one way out of this situation. I ran out, parked Shelby, and got Aryan to take care of it while I'll be trying to knock out the Taskmaster. I had to lure him out of there first before I could proceed with the Batman-style concussions, as in, you know, blunt force trauma. It took me a few tries, but he finally has managed to find his way out, so we could go Truncheon versus Mace and see who bonks better. Of course I do. You got bonked, time to get you back home. Well, your new home it is. Shelby, Aryan, meet our new friend. It will be a long and bumpy road. Right, now the Taskmaster is being peacefully converted to our Thrall, I decided to come back and get the one that always respawns here, Zamorian Berserker. And by get, I mean knock him out, tie him up, and drag him to home. Oh, as bad as it sounds, it's almost like 50 Shades of Exiles. Anyway, let's go. There is also one more exile that I would really like to see, and obviously it is Dalincia, but I was super disappointed to see that she's not here this time. Instead, it was a tier 3 fighter. Alright, with all the Thrall taking, I was mentally drained of any fun, as it was the same process over and over again, so I changed my next destination to be the jungle. Greens apparently have a good influence on your health. I just kind of misunderstood the part where apparently it has to be IRL and involves touching the grass, but hey, it's all green in here. One of the first things I have visited in here was the Penitent Crossing that bridges 2 high altitude points in this area. So naturally, see what I did there? I had to cross it to find out what's on the other side. It looked like a human settlement, so off we go to see if we can plunder this place. Just be careful on the big kitties. This place is called Descent of Dagon, and it houses Shemite folks. During my visit here, it didn't look like we could find any of the stronger exiles in here, but since I was in here once, I guess this might be a wrong assumption. There are a few sort of openings in this area, and each one of them has at least a few exiles living in it. We unfortunately had to get rid of them in order to peacefully travel through. This part is somewhat of a headquarters in here, as there was a greater number of inhabitants to deal with. Thankfully, Aryan was already strong enough to deal with few at once, plus Annihilator in their hands was doing quite a bit better than the hardened steel spear Aryan used before. And this is a nice discovery. I genuinely did not know you can find silver nodes in here. At this point I was confused as of why the iron ore looks so much different in here, only to find it wasn't iron. So naturally, as any form of valuables is a form of treasure I really like to have, I gathered all of the silver I could from here before proceeding further into the jungle. In the same area where silver nodes were located, there was a big opening that I could go through, so as I am here exploring the jungle, I'm going in. Once I got rid of the Guardian Bearer, I have noticed that this area is ridden with glowing goop, so I proceeded to gather all of it. We will need it for cyan dye as well as to upgrade the Tome of Kurak later on, so there is never enough of it. There was also a little table and I hoped for some goodies to be found here, but nope, nada, 404 not found. Anyways, on that note, I would like to finish today's episode. Thanks for watching, leave a like or dislike accordingly, drop a comment down below or maybe even subscribe, and if so, I shall see you in the next one. Deynon, out.